Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to one of the biggest events in the NOFSRL, and probably one of the most personally amazing events, and one event that brings this community closer. It's the Dean Wickard Shootout from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Yes, that is right. You heard me correct. We are back at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, a modernized fictional track made here on NR 2003, and tonight you're going to see some very interesting action. We have a full schedule here tonight, so I'm going to send it over to my friend Napa Fan for the whole schedule. Napa Fan, take it away.
Yes, this is the first night of the 2019 NOFSRL James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Of course, James and Dean Wickard, a couple of drivers who used to race in the NRLOA and on my channel back in the day, unfortunately passed away in a car accident 3 years ago. And this race, Alex's idea to commemorate them and bring this community together every year with this event. And this year it is bigger than ever, moving it from Concord to North Wilkesboro this year and having 3 nights of events here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And all begins tonight with late model stock qualifying, and you guys are going to see that right when we're done with the intro right here. After that, the super late models are going to be qualifying, and the super late models are the main event of this James and Dean Wickard Shootout. It's going to be the final race Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern after the modified race on Saturday. Once we're done with the qualifications of both the late model stocks and the super late models, we'll go on to the qualifying dual races. We'll have 2 races in the late model stocks. That will determine the starting lineup for the late model stock feature, which will be tomorrow night. The super late model will have their dual races as well. The top 18 finishers in each dual race will advance on to the feature and start in their respective positions. Dual 1 will be the inside lane, and Dual 2 will be the outside lane for the feature event. And the rest of the drivers who do not advance on will move on to a last chance qualifier race Saturday afternoon. After the dual races are done, we'll have our first feature of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Will be the StreetStock Feature, 21 drivers in that class, and then we cap off the night with the Hers Elimination Series, running a special event here tonight around the North Wilkesboro Speedway. So, Alex, the first thing we have tonight is the late model stock qualification session. Are you ready to get the 2019 James and Dean Wickard Shootout started?
Oh, I am very hyped up for this. I cannot wait to see how these late model stocks do around this track. This is the first time we've seen late model stocks in this game going around this track, in my opinion, because I have this track myself on my computer, and I have yet to put the late model stocks on here. I've put the supers on here, and they're a lot of fun, but I have yet to put the stocks on here, so I want to see how they do tonight.
23 drivers in late model stocks. They're going to have a 5-minute qualifying session, and it will set the starting lineup for the dual races later tonight. Here we go. To begin the 2019 James and Dean Wickard Shootout, let's get the action started with qualifying from the late model stock class.
And here we go, the late model stocks. We have the first driver heading out here tonight. That is the number 99 of Daniel Price. He's going to be leaving the safety of his pit lane here. And as Napa Fan had said before, you have 21 drivers, I do believe, in this class. There could be more, and I could be wrong. Let's see
drivers. You're pretty
23.
close there, Alex. Got 23 drivers in this class. First driver out, like you said, Daniel Price in the 99. It's going to be his first ever Napa fan start. So going to be very interesting to see what he does in this big event.
Well, I mean, if he couldn't have started in any other event, I'm happy that it's this event, and I cannot appreciate him enough for coming out, as I can't appreciate everyone else who had come out and signed up enough. Here we are, the number 98. Now, this is my own cousin, Ryan Schuler. You may remember him. He did make a James and Dean Wickard Shootout appearance back in Concord. I believe it was a year or two ago, and he ran in the modified class. He also made an NRLOA Wheel and Modified Tour appearance on my channel, and in the Modified Tour appearance, he did pretty well. In the James and Dean Wickard one, not so much. He's changed it up now from going to modifieds to late model stocks. He's running the number 98 Phoenix Constructions Ford late model stock tonight, so I expect hopefully that he'll be doing good.
So we only have 5 minutes, so we can't unfortunately go through each driver right now. We'll be able to do so in the dual races, since there'll only be 12 and 11 drivers respectively in those. But right now the fastest driver is in fact Daniel Price in the number 99, looking pretty fast, and that means that he will start on the pole for his dual race and actually lock his front row starting position for the shootout. The way the qualifying is going to go is just like it does for the Daytona 500. Make it simple so that everyone can understand, and make it so that we don't waste time on qualifying and things like that. But the number 66 just went to the top of the board.
That is, number 66 is Alfianza Riziki. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And I believe this is their first start on Napa Fan as well.
It definitely is. So we have a few first-timers in this event here for 2019. But the guy who just went to the top of the board is very familiar with the top starting position here at North Wilkesboro. We had our Chick-fil-A Cup Series race weekend here not too long ago, and Julius Anderson started on the pole for both the Craftsman Throwback Series race and the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race. And he was at the top of the position, but he couldn't hold on to it. Daniel Price back to the top in the number 99 in late model stock qualifying, and the number 25 of Shane Lake. And Shane Lake was originally going to be in the super late models. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a technicality, and he got put in the stock class, but he definitely wants to show that he is a good driver, and he definitely is, and he just went to the top of the board in the number 25. So how about Shane Lake? He might win the pole for the stock class of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Yeah, Shane Lake doing a really good job here tonight in this qualifying effort. We have about a minute 33 left, about a minute and a half left, and if no one is going to take him down, but I believe someone has now.
Alfonso Risky in the number 66. He just went to the top of the board. 59 of Zachary Fitzwater now in the second position. The top two positions will lock their spots onto the feature on Friday night, which is going to be tomorrow, and it's looking like first-timer Risky is going to start on the pole position. That's as of now. The times have actually been changing quite frequently at the top of the leaderboard, and we've seen Daniel Price, Shane Lake, and Alfonso Riziski in the number 66 be the fastest, and Shane Lake just took it back away in the number 25. Shane Lake looking pretty strong. I've yet to identify him on the racetrack. Where is he? And number 25 machine. 41! Elijah, no, wrong series, wrong class. It's Jordan Lopez in the 41. And now Fitzwater has gone to the top of the board. No surprise there in seeing Zachary Fitzwater be the fastest. You know he's good. And that might just be the pole run for the stock class of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Zachary Fitzwater, let me tell you, this guy, he is a short track god in the NOFSRL, NRLOA, basically any years past. When we get to modified qualifying, you're going to see why. This guy, in my series, for NRLOA, NOFSRL, in modifieds, and regardless of what he's ran, he has won. He won the Season 3 or 4 Wheel and Modified Tour Championship after an unbelievable, well, I wouldn't say controversial, but a surprise out of nowhere and bizarre final race in New Hampshire. And he's out here tonight scoring the pole in a late model stock. And you're going to see him again a little later on in the one modified that he just seems to win in all the time. And that's going to be the number 51. And honestly, I can't wait for you to see that. As qualifying comes to an end, Zachary Fitzwater on the pole for James
If you know how NO 2003 works, you got a little bit extra time left in the going, but it does appear that Zachary Fitzwater has won the pole for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout in the late model stock class. And Alfonso Risky in the number 66 looking to start second. They both lock their positions on to the feature event tomorrow night. The rest of the drivers are not locked into their positions, but all 23 of these guys will be in the show. And everyone will be racing in the dual races, which are going to be coming up right after super late model qualifying. So how about Zachary Fitzwater here in qualifying? He looked really fast out there at North Wilkesboro.
Oh yeah, he's very fast here, and especially for the fact of many things. One, he's ran here already in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, so he knows how the track lays out. And even though that the late models are a little less powerful than the Cup cars that are ran in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, he still knows how to get around this track. He knows where to have everything set up and ready to go. And like I said before, any lower tier series that he runs, he's a god. He runs and he wins, no matter what.
And he does. So we'll have to see what happens in the dual races. They're going to be coming up in, I'd venture to say, about 20 minutes. But first, we have to set the dual races for the super late model class. And there are going to be 2 groups for the super late models because we have 51 drivers entering the main event here of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Thank you to all those guys who signed up, by the way.
Yeah, 51
you guys definitely
people.
do not want to miss out on the main event Saturday night. But of course, tonight we have the dual races for these guys, and it's going to show who is in the main feature and who has to go to the last chance qualifier. So it's definitely going to be big. But first, we got to set the starting lineup for the dual races. So let's go ahead and get to it. If you want to know which group you're in, just look down in the description, and that'll tell you which group you're in for qualifying. But we're ready to go for super late model qualifying. Let's go ahead and see who gets it done and wins the pole for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. And here we go for the first group of super late model qualifying. And what will happen is that we'll compare the 2 fastest times in each group, and whichever one is fastest, that driver wins the pole, and the other driver wins the outside pole. And whichever group has the pole winning driver, that will be duel number 1, and the slowest will be duel number 2. And that will determine the inside and the outside lanes respectively. So duel number 1 will determine the inside lane for the feature. Duel number 2 will determine the outside lane for the feature of the top 18 finishers in each of those duel races. And the ones who do not advance on to the feature tonight, they will have to go to a last chance qualifier Saturday afternoon.
Now that we have qualifying figured out, ready to go, we have the first driver on track. That is the number 9, Nicole Sampson, putting in a lap there, and it's going to be a 19.6. And of course, also we have the number 26 on track. That's Keyshawn Richardson. We have a number of drivers trying to go for the fast time here, and it looks like Keyshawn Richardson is going to be on pole, provisional pole for the moment. But
we have ourselves 26 drivers in group number 1 and 25 in group number 2. They want to be the fastest because all these guys want to be starting on the inside lane. And of course, you can always look in the description to see which group you are in. They're both listed there down in the description below to double check on which group you are in for the qualifying session in super late models.
Yes, exactly. As you are looking right now, that's the number 54 on track, number 54 of Madison Tull. She just recently, not that long ago, came from nearly winning the Indianapolis 250. Now that's a big event in the NOFSRL, next to the NOFSRL 500 and a couple other events, including this one. Can she get redemption from the Indianapolis 250 by qualifying, which she already has at the moment, provisionally on pole, and potentially winning the Super Late Model 100 lap feature event coming up on Saturday?
Okay, well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. It's just the pole right now. Cole Sampson, though, in the number 9, going to be his first ever starting lap event. He looks pretty fast right now. Noah Carr is his second fastest. Madison Tull is third fastest. And we saw in the late model stock session that the times actually kept on getting faster and faster as the session went along. We got a bit of a problem.
Whoa.
Hard in the inside wall goes Edwin Mendez, and the 88 machine of Joe Rutkowski is all torn up. Now, the rules for qualifying are just like NAPFIN. If you wreck long as your time is not effective. Of course, it isn't for Joe Rakowski. He's still 7th. That time will stand regardless of what happens in the qualifying session. So that just takes away some time from the number 88 and getting a faster lap time. But the number 2 machine also torn up. Christopher Alphaby, Keyshawn Richardson. Looks like we had a massive pileup at some point here because a lot of cars have damage. That means they might not be able to get back out there before the session ends to get a faster time to beat Christopher Alphaby's time, which is at 19.306 right now. Not Christopher Alphaby, excuse me, Cole Sampson and number 9. And keep that number in mind when we get to the second group of qualifying, because if the fastest driver in the second group of qualifying is faster than whoever's fastest in this one, those guys get to start on the inside lane for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout if they advance through their duel race.
Yes, and at the same time, remember that if you don't advance into the duel race, if you don't finish in the top 18, go to the last chance qualifier, and then from there, the top to be determined will advance into the show.
New fastest guy, it's Max Newworth in number 17. And Newworth was really good on Napa Fan back 2015, 2016 that time. He recently has come back and hasn't won in a while, and this might be a good event to win and break back into the winning streak that he used to have here on Napa Fan. But Noah Cars, right behind him, has taken that fast position away from him. The number 75 of Daniel McMillan is second fastest. And this event kind of replacing the Enders 2003 big one that we had last year. McMillan won that race last year, and this is kind of the big one on Napa Fan for 2019, and McMillan might have a good shot at that. But Noah Cars might win the pole for the feature event of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. And if he gets the pole here tonight, he is locked onto the pole for Saturday night's main feature event.
And I believe Noah Cars has made a few appearances on my channel, so this isn't the first time he's got his feet wet in a little bit of local short track racing, especially around these parts within the southeast. So, I mean, that's very good. And considering the fact you also think about it, Noah Cars is outbeating number 17 of Max Newworth. Newworth is racing one of few LFR spec cars in this race that are a mix between super late models, modifieds, and late model stocks. Of course, super late models are going to be the biggest class to have the LFR cars next to the modifieds, meaning that they're going to be all under one big team, not just as suppliers.
And this is the main event that everyone wants to win. This truly is the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, the 100-lap main event that will happen Saturday night right here on Napa Fan. And it's looking like Noah Cars is at least going to start on the front row for the main event, the feature event on Saturday night, and that is huge because passing might be a little difficult come Saturday. We're just going to have to see how it all goes down for him. But Noah Cars is guaranteed a front row starting position for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. And I believe one driver failed to clock in a time. I'm not entirely sure who it was, but we'll have to check in on that and see. But Noah Cars, do you think that time is going to be beat in the second session, or do you think Noah Cars will start on the pole for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout on Saturday night?
Well, as the track continues to get rubbered in, there are going to be times that are going to be going down slower or lower and lower and lower. But at the moment, I think Noah Cars might be set on pole, but that'll all depend in the next group session.
We will have to see how it all goes down. We do have a tie, and tie-breakers, or ties, will be broken, I should say, by Napa Fan wins. Ashland Boyd will be ahead of Cole Sampson in whichever duel they end up in. And then you have Landon Alliance of Keyshawn Richardson. I think Lions would have that on Richardson, so Lions will start ahead of Richardson in their respective duel races. But we will find out which duel they'll be in once we're done with the second group of qualifying here for the super late model class of the 2019 James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
And here we go. This is group number 2. And the first driver on track is going to be the number 12 of Ace Garcia in the Dex Imaging Super Late Model. And I hopefully he'll put in a good fast lap.
We'll have to see how it all goes down. So what these drivers in this entire session, I believe, would want to see is the fastest driver in the session to beat a 19.215, which was set by the fastest driver in Group 1, Noah Cars. If the fastest time in this session is slower than that, these guys will be in duel number 2 and be starting on the outside lane in their respective qualifying positions if they advance on through duel number 2. It's a little bit different if you don't advance onto the main feature through duel number 2, or the duel races, I should say, because you would have to go to the last chance qualifier race, and we'll get to that when we get there Saturday afternoon. But If the fastest time in the session is faster than 19.215, whoever has that time in the session will be the pole sitter. If they're slower than a 19.215, they will be starting on the outside pole. And Ace Garcia, currently the fastest, only driver to complete a full lap under speed right now. 67 right behind him. Casey Nanico making his first career Napa fan start.
Yeah, and I believe at the same time he's made a few starts on Marty's channel, especially most recently the NOFSRL Daytona 500, if I do remember correctly.
Was in that event.
So hopefully maybe he can pull the James and Dean Wickard Shootout out of nowhere, but who knows? You know, this race is open to anyone who wants to really give it a try. But looking at the board right now, and especially on the speed chart, doesn't look like Nanico's really kind of leaving the hype or the lineage that he would in normal NOFSRL on Marty's channel. But, you know, I mean, it's his first time, so, you know, when you're trying to get your feet wet, you gotta get ready for it. And we have a new fastest time. It's going to be the 1:18 of Mark McElroy.
I believe this is either Luke Green or Mark McElroy here. Is there a 1 in front of that 1:18 on the car?
Yes.
All
there
right.
was a 1:18.
Yeah, you are correct. You are very correct. There he
is,
but he's not the fastest anymore. It's Andrew Ross in the 5 who just went to the top position. Looking for him here. So many guys on the racetrack. It's going to be unbelievable when we get to the race. We'll have 42 of these guys on the racetrack. We had 51 entries. 9 of these guys will fail to qualify, so you really want to be on the front row because that locks your spot in. Because in the dual races, you're not locked in. And if you wreck in the dual races, you'll have to go to the LCQ Saturday afternoon. You do not want to be doing that. So Andrew Ross is looking pretty good right now. They still have not beat Noah Carr's time of 19.215. They're at 19.273. We'll like to let you know that we kept the same weather for both sessions so that they are on equal ground, equal footing. But the number 5, Andrew Ross, currently the fastest guy in group number 2.
Yeah, Andrew Ross doing really good. And he's a Chick-fil-A Cup Series regular, if I'm correct.
He is. Has one win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series at Texas earlier this season. Much different track than this one. But Andrew Ross was here on the Chick-fil-A Cup Series and in the Craftsman Throwback Series. So he has experience here at North Wilkesboro from about a month ago.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a good job. Because he's doing a good job right now. And right now he's on the provisional outside pole for the main event. That might change. We still have a minute left in the session, and they keep on getting faster, and there you go. Casey Nanico. We were mentioning how he wasn't doing too good there. Well, he found that speed in that number 67, and he is now the fastest guy in this session. But the number 77, my man Jesse Turner going to the top of the board. And with that, whoever is fastest in this session will win the pole. 19.184 will Jesse Turner start on the front row for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. We'll have to see. That number 77 put down a really fast time, but right below him was Agar Barreto by 1/1000th of a second. He missed out on Turner's time. There's Jesse Turner. Do you think Turner's going to get it here?
I'm going to tell you, Jesse Turner has tried this event for the past couple years that it's been in existence. And every time, there was one year, he came so close to victory.
It was last year. It was in the modifieds last year, which was the main event last year. Oh, he just got pushed out. 98 machine of R.J. Bishop with the fastest time.
Bishop.
And he really put down the fast one there in the number 98. That is a tough one for Jesse Turner, but still, he'll be starting second in his dual race, and this will be dual number 1. These guys will be in dual number 1 of the super late model class, so they'll be going out and racing first after these late model stock dual races. Where's the 98? There's R.J. Bishop. It's going to be his first ever Napa fan start, and he is going to most likely start on the pole for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout Saturday night.
Running into Casey Nanico there.
Nanico's in 5th right now, and that was Ace Garcia just ran into him. And like I said, the time stands regardless of what happens in the session.
And runs into the 33-0 pile up
there. So that's it. R.J. Bishop wins the pole for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout in the super late model class. Noah Cars will be on the outside pole for the event. And everybody else, none of them are set for the show quite yet. They got to race in their dual races. And the dual races are going to be very interesting for these guys because you have to finish in the top 18. Actually, you have to finish in the top 18 if the pole sitter finishes in the top 18 with you. If not, it's only the top 17 that make it on if the pole sitter fails to advance inside the top 18. So keep that in mind. The pole sitter, RJ Bishop and Noah Cars, they're both locked in their front row starting positions for the main event Saturday night. They're the only drivers locked into positions quite yet. The rest of the drivers have to race their way into the show. And once we get to those dual races, we'll clarify it a little bit more. But this group of drivers right here will be duel number 1. The drivers who went out in group number 1 will be duel number 2. These guys are racing for the inside lane since RJ Bishop was the fastest guy. And the guys who were in group number 2, or group number 1 I should say, will be racing for the outside lane if they qualify through their dual races. Apologize if it seems a little confusing right now. We are just getting started with the event, and there are a lot of events going on tonight and all throughout the event, so I want to make sure you guys do understand it. If you do have any questions, hopefully one of us is in the chat right now who just ask us, and we should be able to clarify it for you right then and there. But anyways, congratulations to RJ Bishop for winning the pole position here for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout in the super late model class, which is the main event of this event here this weekend. And he'll be leading the field of the green flag Saturday night alongside Noah Cars. Let's go ahead and get to some racing. How that sound, Alex? We got ourselves the late model stock dual races. We're going to set the starting lineup for their main feature, which is going to be Friday night. Let's get right to it here from North Wilkesboro.
And here we are, ready to go for the first dual race of the late model stock class here in this North Wilkesboro Shootout. And, of course, Zachary Fitzwater on the pole, ready to go. Now, keep in mind, folks, that wherever Zachary Fitzwater finishes in this dual race will not matter to him, as he already qualified on the pole. He's automatically locked in. However, from everyone second on back, this is a race where you have to perform well if you want to really start up front. Like the duels in Daytona, this is how it's going to be. And I must ask you, Napa fan, how do you think the late model stocks, considering that there are only about 12 of these guys on the track right now, compare that to 23 later on, how do you think 12 is going to match on this track?
I think 12 is a good starting position for these guys to get used to each other because we're going to have 23 cars on the track tomorrow night for the main event. And I will like to mention, too, this duel does determine the inside lane starting positions for the main event in the late model stock tomorrow. So they are racing to start 3rd, 2nd place in this race to start 5th, 7th, and so on. So just like the Daytona duel, so I want to make sure you guys understand that. So pretty straightforward and simple. All these guys will be in the main event. They do not have to worry about failing to qualify since we only have 23 drivers in this event. We can easily fit them all onto the racetrack. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how these guys race with each other. This is how they line up here for dual race number 1 in the late model stock class. Zachary Fitzwater is on the pole position in the number 59. Like Alex said, regardless of what happens in this race, he will be starting on the pole for the main late model stock event tomorrow night. Alongside him is the number 54 machine of Mitchell Collins. We have the 25, that car driven by Shane Lake alongside the 2 of Noah Clifton. The 99 of Daniel Price alongside the 28 of Trey Wright. Then we have the 23 machine of Jeremiah Earls alongside the 34 of Julius Anderson. The 58 machine of Ryan Kendall and the 44 of Andrew Miller. And then the number 98 machine of Ryan Schuler and the 42 of John Andrews. We're green flag racing at duel number 1. Take it away, Alex.
Yeah, green flag is out, and they're heading into turn 1 here. Zachary Fitzwater out onto the early lead so far. 3 wide for 2nd place at the moment. Like I said before, they're really getting antsy here. Number 25, and that is Shane Lake going for the lead here. And he's going to lead the first lap of 15. I'm going to expect a lot of lead changes happening here tonight because everyone wants to be starting up front, or at least a little further up than when they qualified. And Shane Lake so far, as you said before, wanted to try out for a super late model. There's some technical normalities going on with that, and he had to be put to a late model stock. Well, right now, he's really showing that whether it's a late model stock or super late model, he can perform. However, here we go. Number 99 of Daniel Price going to try and go to the inside. As we have said before, earlier on, this is his first Napa fan appearance. And he's going to try and perform well tonight. just to show, and a little bit of contact in the wall with the number 25 of Shane Lake there. Ran a little wide coming off the turn. That's unfortunate for him, as he's going to lose a lot of time. Meanwhile, back up front, Daniel Price leading the way here on lap 4.
And Daniel Price keeping that streak of first-timers on Napa Fan alive. They tend to do very well in these special events especially. And keep in mind, it's only for the third starting position, but you saw what Shane Lake did from the third starting position here in this dual race. He got right to the inside of Fitzwater, led the first lap, but he's now down to the 4th position right now. And with Fitzwater running second at the moment, that means that the number 25 of Shane Lake would start 7th if he finished where he is right now in the main feature. You see how high Daniel Price is, way up the racetrack right there. We're going to see a lot of that throughout the entire weekend. And Zachary Fitzwater, you got to watch out for him, but right behind him, number 23 machine of Jeremiah Earls, putting it to the veteran of Zachary Fitzwater for second in dual race number 1 of late model stocks.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot, as you said before, you got a lot of these first-timers trying to put a name for themselves. Jeremiah Earls, while I'm not saying he is a first-timer or not, he's really showing that, you know, if you are a first-timer or are a rookie on this channel, you know, give it to the veterans. You know, tell them, like, hey, I'm here, and I'm not going to be here to be like a little punk or anything like that. I'm here to actually race. And that's what he's doing.
Earls, he did very good when he was in the Indianapolis 250 in qualifying, so he's definitely a good driver, and he is definitely racing Fitzwater hard, trying to get around him here. It doesn't mean anything for Earls, though, because where he is, regardless of whether he finishes ahead of Fitzwater or not, he is going to be starting in the 5th position with where he's currently running. But he wants to be able to get around Fitzwater, who is going to be the guy starting on the pole, to show he has a faster race car than he does, have a shot at winning tomorrow night. He will get around Fitzwater right there. In the meantime, they are closing in on Daniel Price for the race lead. This is for the 3rd starting position, and right now Daniel Price holds it in the number 99.
Yeah, this first-timer, he's really showing how to get around North Wilkesboro Speedway. I mean, a lot of first-timers here that have come into this event, they're really showing that they're very, very talented at this track, and it's unbelievable how it is.
Oh, and around, back in there.
Big trouble.
Trey Wright and the 98 machine of Ryan Schuler. This is Schuler's first career Napa Fan start, but like you said, he's raced a few times on your channel before, and that almost could have been a caution. If that was a caution, it would have ended the race. We do have cautions on for all these events here tonight, and it's a tough break there for Ryan Schuler and Trey Wright. They're going to be starting in the back of the field for the main event tomorrow. It's a 50-lap race, so they got time to move their way through the field. Meanwhile, Shane Lake has moved himself into 2nd. While all that was going on, we missed this, and Shane Lake now in position to start 5th for the main event in the late model stocks tomorrow night.
Yeah, and as I said before, it's Shane Lake, you know, he's trying to show that regardless of what division he's running in, he's trying to be a full-blown talent, and he's doing that right now. I mean, he's done an incredible job for a comeback here tonight. If he can hold on for these last 2 laps, then, I mean, he's got a great starting spot right in front of him there, and could be a well improvement from where he would be initially qualifying from.
We'll have to see if he can close in on Daniel Price, but I highly doubt it. Daniel Price is checked out from the field. This might be a guy you got to watch out for in the main event tomorrow night. White flag for Daniel Price, and around Zachary Fitzwater. And damage on the number 34. Julius Anderson all torn up. The yellow is out, but they took the white flag anyway. Daniel Price will come around to win duel number 1. He will start 3rd for the main event in late model stock tomorrow night.
And what a great job by Daniel Price there to take the checkered flag, take the win here in the first duel race. He's going to be starting 3rd place now, which is very good for him. I can definitely say that for a fact. And for a first-timer, winning a duel race kind of really helps you and boosts your confidence in saying, hey, if I could win this duel race, I could be very competitive when it comes to feature time, and it's definitely shown here tonight.
Zachary Fitzwater and Julius Anderson had a little scuffle near the end. We'll quickly replay that for you guys here from duel number 1 of late model stocks in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
And it just looks like they got together. Coming off the turn, either Zachary Fitzwater went high, or even for the fact Andrew Miller probably went a little too low. But regardless, it really messed up a lot of guys, and it looks like there's going to be some work done for Julius Anderson's team to try and get that car ready for feature time tomorrow. If not, luckily try.
With that, Julius Anderson's going to start last for the feature event. No, actually, Trey Wright finished below him, so Trey Wright will finish last, and Julius Anderson will start 21st for the late model stock feature tomorrow night. Daniel Price will be starting third. Zachary Fitzwater will still start on the pole position, even though he wrecked in this race, so doesn't have to worry about that. So it will be Fitzwater, Daniel Price, Shane Lake, Jeremiah Earls, Mitchell Collins, Ryan Kendall, Andrew Miller, Noah Clifton, Ryan Schuler, John Andrews, Julius Anderson, and Trey Wright on the inside lane for the feature event in late model stocks here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. What we got next, Alex?
We got the second dual race for late model stocks, so stick around. We won't be far. We'll be right back. Here we go. Duel number 2 for the late model stock category. This is going to determine the outside row for tomorrow night's feature event. And this is going to be good. We have 11 drivers ready to go to take the green flag and get ready for it. And I must ask you, Napa fan, who do you got your eye on in tonight's second dual race? And who do you think is going to be starting where on this outside row tomorrow in the feature?
I'm going to look at Trey Bartow, especially Trey Bartow, because he won here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series back in May. And Nicholas Samedeo as well. Both of those guys, highly experienced veterans. Definitely watch out for them in this race, especially Trey Bartow, because he's starting on that inside lane, and he won here before. But you also got to watch out for the guy starting on the pole. Alfonso Risky in the number 66. We don't know anything about this guy, and here he is with the second fastest time. He will be starting on the outside pole for tomorrow's feature event. So no matter what happens to him in this event, he is going to be starting alongside Zachary Fitzwater in the feature tomorrow night. But either way, it's Alfonso Risky in the number 66 starting alongside Jordan Lopez. Lopez won his first career Napa fan start, so that might be good news for Alfonso Risky for tomorrow night. The number 14 machine, that car driven by Sam and Oskin. Great to see Sam and Oskin back to Napa fan racing. It's been a long time since he's competed here on Napa fan and finally got into signups. And we'll have to see what he does. He's starting third. That's a good spot in the first duel. Nicholas Samedeo in number 88, Trey Bartow in the 4. Those guys know what they're doing. Silas Order, rookie in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, number 1. Imran Mustakim in the number 18, alongside Roger Ray in the 31. Then we have ourselves Bobo Jones in the 16, and the 51 machine of Alex Tanker. And then right behind those guys, 00 of Alexander Rowe. We're green flag racing in Duel 2 of the Super of the late model stocks. Not the Supers, excuse me, right there.
The stocks of the late model stocks, duel number 2. As we get ready, or as we go green here, heading down the back straightaway for the first time. Look at that, Alfonso Risky. I mean, just look at that. Already pulled off to about a car length lead over Jordan Lopez, and I mean, you can kind of say really that Alfonso kind of is going to be looking at Jordan Lopez after tonight as kind of a mentor, if you would, as we had mentioned at some point, or if have not mentioned yet, that Lopez in his first start got his first win, and that was back in the Thanksgiving 500 in 2016, if I'm correct.
It is, and Lopez trying to close in on Alfonso Risky. With number 14 right behind him, Trey Bartow is 4th. I'm not seeing the frequent passing like we saw in the first duel. And that must mean that Risky's got a really solid car. It's not shooting up the racetrack like we saw Daniel Price did in the first one, like Fitzwater did, like Shane Lake did in the first one. But we're only on lap 4 of this dual race. But look at this, number 14 machine, Sam and Oskin is ready to come back here. And he's looking to the inside of Jordan Lopez, trying to get to the inside of the 41. Can't quite do it yet. Lopez is trying to close in on Risky, and he might be doing so just a little bit. Nicholas Samedeo fell back quite a bit at the start there. That's not good at all for the veteran driver. And you got to remember, these guys are starting on the outside lane, so they don't really have a good advantage in the main event. But either way, Alfonso Risky will be starting on the outside pole, and he wants to show everybody that he has the car to beat in tomorrow's main event.
And it really looks like it so far. I mean, he's led so far from the green flag up until at this point. And he's kind of just really showing that, you know, I'm here, this is my first start, and I'm here to compete, and I'm here to win. And I'm basically a threat to you in this race tomorrow. So, just watch out, because I'm fast, I'm quick, and I'm ready to go to victory lane here in my first appearance in a big event, such as the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
We got Jordan Lopez and Trey Bartow. I think Bartow is really wire good. I think his car is just as good as Risky's is. And Lopez is closing in here on Alfonso Risky. And if Lopez finds a way to the inside, I think Trey Bartow is going to win this race, because that 4 is very fast right now. He's now pressuring Jordan Lopez for the second position, and he is going to get around him. How about Trey Bartow? Remember, he won the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race here back in May. He knows his way around this racetrack, and now... ooh, he might get a crossover here by Jordan Lopez. They're battling for second. Lopez was able to get back to the inside of him. And this is even good news. This is better news, I should say, for Alphonse Risky in the 66. He's able to pull away from these guys because of these guys battling for second.
Yeah, and also let's give a little bit of a shout out here to the number 18 back there in fourth, Imran Mustakim. Yeah, Mustakim. Sorry if I butchered that, but I mean, look at that. He's running up in fourth right now, and that's actually an impressive run considering where he started in this race. So he's also trying to show that, you know, he's a little bit of a threat coming into this race as well.
Got Roger Ray here as well, number 31. Roger Ray, a highly experienced driver, won 3 races in the Turkey Hill Truck Series last year, so no surprise to see him where he is. Bubba Jones, this is his first career Napa fan start. I'm actually going to see what he's going to do because we don't know anything about him. Because a lot of guys make their first start, especially in the stock class. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down tomorrow night. Silas sorta, Alexander Roseman stuck in the back all race long. From number 51 to his outside. Alex Tanker, all these guys did not do good in qualifying, and they're kind of showing for it here in the dual race number 2 of late model stocks. But Jordan Lopez looking to close in here on Alphonse Risky. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it. Risky's been pushing it up the racetrack quite a bit so far. But with only 3 laps to go, it's going to really take a mistake by the number 66 for Jordan Lopez to win this race.
Yeah, Alphonse Risky has just been really dominant in this race so far. And coming to 2 to go, it looks like he's going to lead flag to flag. I mean, you know, this dual race, in a word for Alphonse Risky, is dominance. It's just been complete dominance. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. Here comes Jordan Lopez. I've been watching Risky, and he has really been pushing it up the racetrack here as of late. And Jordan Lopez is right there to the inside. He's going to get into him just a little bit. But Lopez has the advantage on the inside lane on the final lap of dual race number 2 in late model stocks. And there goes Lopez. He chased him down, and he might get it here side by side on the final lap.
I mean...
And
yeah,
there's Trey Bartow. There's Trey Bartow.
Trey Bartow to the line.
Not going to get it. Jordan Lopez wins duel number 2 in late model stocks. And the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
That was almost like a dark... well, I wouldn't even say a dark horse moment. That was almost like just a... I don't even know what to call that. That was a sneak attack out of nowhere for the victory. Way to go, Jordan Lopez. Hunted him down, and even took me by surprise, because I thought that right off the bat, Alphonse Risky was going to have it in the bag, but you know what? That was a really good performance by Jordan Lopez tonight in this duel. He was
solid there, too, and Trey Bartow, if there was one more lap, he would have won that thing. Bartow almost got to the inside to get Lopez, but he wasn't able to do it, but... I think we got a good venue, Alex, for this James and Dean Wickard Shootout. I'm looking forward to the feature event tomorrow night for these guys. It's going to be wild because they're going to be racing just like this tomorrow night. And Jordan Lopez from behind. And Risky made all those moves up the racetrack. That's what sent him behind, and Lopez was able to get to the inside. And Jordan Lopez will be starting 4th for tomorrow's main feature in the late model stock class of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Well, now we're on to the super late models. Looking forward to that, Alex.
I am very looking forward to that. Super late models, they basically run a spec motor, almost the same as these late model stocks, but I can tell you there's basically no governor on them, so they're going to go a heck of a lot faster. So stick around, everyone. We're going to be right back with super late model action. Don't go far. And here we are, the first super late model dual race of the night. And this is going to be a good one. This dual race will line up the inside row for this race, and only the top 17 make it to the feature. And this is excluding your current pole sitter, RJ Bishop. Now, the way it's going to set up is that RJ Bishop does not count. So if he wins or finishes anywhere within the top 17, by technicality, if he were to finish 18th, then the 17 drivers that finished ahead of him would be in the race. Now, if he finishes within the top 17, basically any driver after him to P18 would make the race, and then everyone else would have to go to the LCQ who didn't finish there. Now, that's how that is set up. And now I must ask you, Napa fan, Who do you got your eye on for tonight? Because it seems like you got your eye on your man, Jesse Turner.
I do. You're right. You can't not overlook Jesse Turner, man. He's the first ever winner on Napa Fan. We thought he won the pole for this race, but just got beat up by RJ Bishop. But you got to watch out for RJ Bishop as well, because he surprised us all in qualifying earlier on. There's only 20 laps in this race, but there are 25 drivers in this thing, so we could see a caution or two in this first dual race. We've yet to see one officially. We did kind of see one at the end of the first dual race of the stock class, but let's see how it all goes down for these guys. And you got to think 9 drivers are going to fail to qualify, so you do not want to be in the LCQ, because only the top 6 of the LCQ make it on. Here, as long as you're in the top 17, you're good to go, and we'll have to see how it all goes down. We'll go through the top 10 starting positions here for the super late model duel number 1, and of course on the left of your screen you will see the starting lineup here for this one. RJ Bishop in the number 98 alongside Jesse Turner in the number 77. Of course, Turner the most experienced driver probably in this field. Number 83 machine, that car is driven by Agar Barreto. He's alongside the 18 machine of Luke Rainey. And we have the 67 Casey Nanico, who did a really good job in qualifying in his first ever Napa Fan start. He's alongside the 118 of Mark McElroy, also in his first ever Napa Fan start. Andrew Ross in the 5, alongside the 10 machine of Sammy Saber Jr. I love that name, man. That's a great name. And he's on his first ever Napa Fan start as well. Then you got the 40 machine of Matthew Logan and the 23 of Keyshawn Richardson. Jojo Carter, excuse me. Richardson's in the 26. But either way, we're ready to get this one started in Duel 1 of the super late model class. Take it away, Alex.
And of course, as the green flag drops, RJ Bishop taking the early lead here, but look at this pass set up here for 77 of Jesse Turner. He's going to go to the inside. Luke Rainey going to follow suit, trying to follow in his draft, take the early lead, or take the lead, so that way he won't have to race into an LCQ and has a better starting position, I might add.
He got to the inside from the outside starting position. RJ Bishop really shot it up the racetrack on the first lap, and Turner took advantage like crazy. And now Jesse Turner leading duel number 1. This will be for the 3rd starting position in the feature event on Saturday night. Oh, somebody in the wall back in there, and I believe that was the number 8 machine of Greg Torres, development driver to Sebastian Cucalon. And you got to be in the top 18 if you want to advance on. So if you're 19th on down, so the 66 of Davey Johnson all the way down, those guys will have to go to the LCQ. So you do not want to be in the LCQ. Of course, the good thing is these guys who fail to qualify in this dual race will be on the inside starting position for the LCQ. Oh, and around in the wall!
Oh, RJ Bishop!
RJ Bishop, the pole sitter. And I think we can be thankful it was RJ Bishop and not somebody else, because Bishop is locked onto the pole for the main feature on Saturday night. And with that, he's going to be done here in duel number 2, but he will still start on the pole position Saturday night for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. He got the worst of that one. 29, also with damage, Dan Park. And Dan Park's probably going to have to go to the LCQ after that one.
Yeah,
that is
gonna
a tough break for Dan
Park.
I do believe they're the only 2 guys with significant damage. Here's another guy, the 82, Joshua Rush.
Joshua Rush.
And he's got some damage there. He might have to go to the LCQ as well. But
so they kind of stack it up here on the backstretch, trying to get back under control. Your current leader at the moment is the number 77 of Jesse Turner, and I mean, I think that's pretty good that Jesse Turner's in the lead there. Seasoned veteran, he's trying to race his way in. And it looks like now, considering the fact that RJ Bishop is out, this really opens up the door for a lot more drivers to try and race their way into this top 17 to make it into the race.
Now you have to be in the top 17 now, because RJ Bishop's going to finish outside the top 18. So if you're 18th, you're going to be in the LCQ at this point, so keep that in mind. But Jesse Turner looking pretty strong right now. Let's see what happened to bring up the first caution in duel 1 of the super late model class in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
So it looks like he was trying to go 3 wide, and Nanico ended up getting into...
No, it wasn't Nanico. It was actually Dan Park there, who smashed right into RJ Bishop, and the other guy there, I think that's the 82. of Joshua Rush, and he also got caught up. They were the main guys who got involved in that one. I think everyone else is pretty safe for the most part.
Yeah.
But Dan Park is definitely going to have to go to the LCQ. We'll have to see about other drivers, but not the way you want to start out from starting on the pole in the main event. I mean, that's a good thing. RJ Bishop gets to, retry it again. You didn't really have to do much in this thing. You could have just started and parked it, but still, RJ Bishop will still be starting on the pole for the main feature event Saturday night. We'll have to see what happens on Saturday night with RJ Bishop. He didn't even lead a lap in this race. Not a good sign for the rookie driver. Either way, good sign for veteran Jesse Turner. He'll lead the field to the restart here in Duel 1 of the super late model class in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
So, here we go for the restart here in this duel number 1 for the super late models. Jesse Turner is going to lead the field back to the green with Luke Rainey right behind him in second. Don't leave out Igor Barreto either. Casey Nanico and the 25 of Fisher G rounding out your top 5. The green flag is back out. We race once again here at North Wilkesboro. Jesse Turner really getting a good restart there heading into turn 1. Having about a car length lead over Luke Rainey. Nanico now going to try and maybe take a peek. He thought about it and second guessed it, but it looks like he's going to really try and set up a move here. Heading off the 4th turn, 3 wide almost. A little bit of contact.
Right, they saved it though. Igor Barreto getting into the 18 of Luke Rainey, Casey Nanico in the middle of all that, and Jesse Turner saying, like, I'll let you guys wreck and I'll pull away. Drivers knocked out from that accident include the 8 of Greg Torres, who's 4 laps down now. The 98 machine, of course, of RJ Bishop, but he does not have to worry. He will start on the pole. And the 29 of Dan Park. They are the only guys. Torres and Dan Park are guaranteed into the LCQ. And right now, Davey Johnson is on the bubble position, but here comes the 56 right behind him. And this is where you definitely want to watch out because, these guys are in a danger zone. If they finish outside the top 17, they have to go to the LCQ, and they might not make it on to the main event. So we have 51 entries for this event, and we can't fit 40 or 51 cars in that main event. So that's why these guys are dueling it out right now, and that's why we'll have the LCQ. But oh boy, they keep on getting loose off that corner there. But right now, that last lap around was the 56 machine in the final transfer spot. Jesse Turner is pulling away. We're going to focus on this final transfer spot right here. Right now, the 56 machine of Hergel Arvin Alonso holds it. The 33 right behind him trying to take it away. Matthew. Why can't I read my own handwriting?
That's the number 33 of Matthew Phillips. Battling out.
There. Phillips is going to take the position away from the number 16 of Nick Smith. Now Nick Smith is on the hot seat. He is not in a good position right there. 71 trying to get around him so he can get to the number 33. In the board as well, but that is Mark McElroy. McElroy is falling all the way back. The 82 of Joshua Russ is going to have to go to the LCQ. Davey Johnson in the 66. That's a big surprise there. Larry Hagan in the 99 also deep in the field as well. 71 machine. That is Wyatt Quayle. And then right ahead of Wyatt Quayle, it is the number 60 machine. Like we mentioned, Nick Smith, who is right now just outside. Actually, just
going
inside.
4 wide, almost 3. Almost
Nick
went
Smith
4 wide. They're off 2.
They're getting the outside. Sammy Saber Jr. stuck in a bad position. We're closing in on 2 laps to go, and you do not want to be 18th. If you're 18th or below, you are having to go to the LCQ, and Sammy Saber Jr. is falling behind right now. This might be good news for driver number 71 of Wyatt Quayle.
Yeah, I mean, Wyatt Quayle really trying to make it into this event. A lot of drivers are actually trying to make it into this event, as we're going to have almost 3 wide and
number 5! And we got a wreck on the
99.
final lap of the race. The number 5 machine of Andrew Ross went around, and this is going to change everything. Well, coming across the line, Jesse Turner is going to start 3rd for the main event Saturday night. He wins duel number 1 in the super late models, and we're going to have to see who gets knocked out here. It's going to change everything up.
I mean, man, this is really confusing. We're going to have to see.
We're going to have to wait for them to cross the line. They're going to cross the line right here. The ticker will update for us. The number 5 of Andrew Ross is going to have to go to the LCQ here.
And everyone is just brake checking everywhere.
We're going to have to see what the official results are for this duel race, see who officially makes it on and who doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know for a fact that it seems like Nick Smith was kind of in this position where it looks like he's going to be able to move on. I can't be 100% sure for Sammy Saber Jr., but I think he might move on as
Sammy
well.
Saber Jr. is currently listed 19th. The 99 of Larry Hagan is the last guy in, and the 16 of Nick Smith is the first guy out. But as you said, the number 5 is still there in 13th, and we know he was involved in the accident and fell behind a lot of those guys. And oh boy, that is interesting right there. He ended up finishing 13th.
Wow, so
That's
it looks
interesting. So the drivers who are going to have to go to the DNQ, or the last chance qualifier, I should say, they haven't DNQ'd yet, are Nick Smith, Sammy Saber Jr., Davey Johnson, Joshua Rush, Mark McElroy, Greg Torres, and RJ and Dan Park. Excuse me, not RJ Bishop, because Bishop is starting on the pole
Bishop's
position.
already in.
But Andrew Ross able to survive, and I think it was because he came down the pit lane. And you know what ended up happening was all those guys ended up lapping, because what happened was the caution came out while the guys were crossing the line, and I think that caught a lot of guys off guard, and Andrew Ross is going to be safe. So that's an interesting one right there. It's Jesse Turner, Matthew Logan, Fisher G, and JoJo Carter. They're going to be starting on the inside lane behind RJ Bishop. And everyone from 1st to 17th, everyone from Jesse Turner to Larry Hagan, they are in the main event Saturday night. Nick Smith down to Dan Park, with the exception of RJ Bishop, are going to have to go to the LCQ. Nick Smith will start on the pole for the LCQ, since this is the inside lane duel, and that means that those guys will start on the inside lane for the LCQ. So Nick Smith going to have to race his way in. The top 6 in that LCQ on Saturday morning, they will be in the show. The last 9 will not be. So we'll have 15 guys in that LCQ. Going to be interesting to see how it goes. But final thoughts on this one, Alex. Got wild there near the end.
I mean, this was a wacky ending to a race, but I mean, this was a very good race, I'll be honest. You know, you had a lot of action, you had a lot of people trying to pass, and I mean, you saw the biggest drama of all, the pole sitter of this race, and the person who, in my opinion, at first seemed to be very promising, RJ Bishop, ended up wrecking out of his heat race. I mean, he's still going to start on pole in the main event, in the feature, but I mean, wrecking out in your dual race, and you know, just a whole lot of drama ensued. That is unbelievable, and I mean, that was a great race.
It definitely was, but Jesse Turner led every single lap, so if that isn't a telling sign for Saturday night, I don't know what is. But either way, let's go ahead and replay that accident with Andrew Ross.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like, Luke Rainey gets into him, and then everyone just started piling in. And the weirdest thing
drove away from this, which is why he finished 13th, so he wasn't one of the last few guys. It's these guys back in here: Nick Smith, Sammy Saber Jr., Davey Johnson, Joshua Rush, Mark McElroy. They got caught behind it. Jesse Turner won the race, but tough break there for those guys. I mean, I don't think it really mattered too much because of the wreck, because they were already in those positions anyway, but they had another lap to go, and they ended up only racing 19 laps because they did not cross the line before the caution came out, which meant they got to stay in those positions. Tough break for those guys. But either way, Alex, that was just the first duel here in the Super Late Models. Let's get to the second duel. This will determine the outside lane starting positions through second to, actually from fourth, I should say, all the way to 36th on the outside lane. So let's see who gets it done here. Duel number 2. Looking forward to it?
Oh yeah, I am definitely looking forward to it. Stick around, folks, because duel number 2 is coming up. And if you thought duel number 1 was amazing, duel number 2, right around the corner. That's going to be good. Stay tuned for more. And here we are for the second duel race here in the North Wilkesboro Shootout. As we get ready for this one, Noah Carr starts on pole position. And this, after the first duel race, which was pretty action-packed, just for a few cars to make it into the feature event, and not to mention drama as the pole sitter crashes out of his dual race. I gotta ask you, Napa fan, who's your person to watch for in this second dual race?
Well, we got Noah Cars, who I think was definitely a stout guy, but with what we saw in the first duel, you might not want to be the pole sitter. Watch out for the guy right behind him. Daniel McMillan won the Interloy Big One last year. this isn't the big one this year, but it's the biggest event we're going to have this year, so he might be doing pretty good this year. He's starting third. His teammate, Jesse Turner, won the first dual race in the super late model class, and I might see Dana McMillan, his Chick-fil-A Cup Series teammate, get it done here today. But either way, rules still apply. This determines the outside lane. You have to be top 17 if Noah Cars fails to finish outside the top 17. And if he finishes inside the top 17, you have to be top 18 to advance on to the main event. Everyone else behind 18th position, from 18th position on back, basically, they will fail to make it on to the main event for now. But they will go to the last chance qualifier on Saturday morning. So, Noah Cars with the fastest time in the first group of qualifying that we had earlier on. By the way, the guy who did not get a time was Matthew Brown, and number 60 starts last for this dual race. Number 31 alongside him, that is Dale Lightning. We got ourselves Daniel McMillan in the number 75 alongside the 54 machine of Madison Toll. Madison Toll did a great job in the Indianapolis 250 before wrecking out. Ashland Boyd in the 74 alongside the 9 of Cole Sampson. 57 machine of Gatlin Downey alongside the 50. That car is driven by William Brock. And then we got Max Newworth in the 17 alongside the 01 of Nathan Faden. We're ready for duel number 2. Take it away, Alex.
Green flag is out, and we are racing here in duel number 2. 20 laps on hand. And heading into turn 1, looks like Noah Cars is going to jump out to an early lead here over second place. And the battle is on behind them to try and make it into this LCQ.
You don't want to be in the LCQ, you want to be in the main event, and if you finish top 17 or top 18 at the moment because Noah Cars is inside the top 17, you're good to go for the main event. You do not want to be in the LCQ. McMillan pulling away, they're really battling hard. Ashland Boyd to the inside of Madison Toll. They pushed the 31 up quite a bit of Dale Lightning, and I saw something went around there. It's the white car. Got a lot of lights going on, but someone's going to go around right here.
Someone's about to go around.
Save it. Max Newworth got a bit of a bump right there. Cole Sampson way up high, and Sampson falling way back in the number 9. And so is the 31 of Dale Lightning.
Yeah, this race is really getting interesting here. I'm gonna say the people I'm gonna root for to make this event are gonna be
in the wall and around the 51 machine. The 7 caught up. It's Landon Lyons who initially went around the 7 as well of Brad Stover. I don't think anyone gained significant damage from that one. Marty Johnson in the 14 also fell back. But Cole Sampson really got shuffled out of line right there, and it did not work out for him at all. We actually have 2 7s in here. Who's that?
2 7s.
One's the 71, I do believe, and the other one is just the 7. But still, Brad Stover was involved some way or another there. We'd have to check to make sure who's who there. That's unique. But
it looks like it was actually Brad Stover involved, because I believe he's in the black and white number 7, isn't he?
I believe so. That's Wyatt Quailvin in the number 7, number 71, yeah. I should say.
Well, at the same time, there's also
see, you know how it all shakes out there. But either way, Noah Cars still continues to lead. He's led every lap so far here in duel number 2. Let's go ahead and see what happens to bring out the first caution here in duel number 2, and it might knock out some guys from making it onto the main event here tonight.
Well, it looks like they were trying to go 4 wide, and that did not work. They got pinched, and Brad Stover ended up getting the worst of it, along with a couple others, but it doesn't seem like it's too much to not be able to continue. Looks like everyone else is going to continue. And of course, Napa fan made a little error in message that that number 7 back there, that second number 7, that is actually the 07 of Derek Hamill that had missed out, or maybe got a piece.
He was in the back of all that, I do believe. Number 4 machine, Edwin Mendez, was back in there as well. Marty Johnson got caught up. Seth Cole as well. Matt Tuck. Number 6 machine, and Matthew Brown, I think, was able to drive away pretty nicely from that lane in Lions. But some guys, I think, came down the pit lane there. And they may end up a lap down. If they end up a lap down, that's it for them. So, I don't see Brad Stover. Where is he? I think he might still be out there. I mean, you're going to have to check on that one. But either way...
No, he is out. I see
he
his
is
pit
out,
sign.
so Brad Stover's going to have to go to the LCQ Saturday morning, so... We'll check in and see who got knocked out from that accident. Let's get to the restart of duel number 2 in the super late model class of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Here we go, getting ready to go back green here on the restart. It's going to be lap 10 when we restart this race. Noah Carr's in the lead at the moment, leading over Daniel McMillan in second. Third place going to Ashlyn Boyd. Fourth place, number 57 of Gatlin Downey. And rounding out the top 5, number 54, Madison Tull. Green flag is back out. We're racing once again here at North Wilkesboro for the second dual race in the super late models. And it looks like Noah Carr swept up the track a little. It's going to leave some room for Daniel McMillan to go ahead and try and take a lead here.
We'll have to see if McMillan gets a shot here on Noah Carr's. Brad Stover out of the race, which means he'll have to go to the LCQ on Saturday. It's a tough break for Brad Stover. And right now, number 19 machine, that car driven by Juan Garcia. Great to have Juan Garcia back in racing here on Navafam. Right now, Juan Garcia is in the final transfer position, but we got a battle for the race lead. Daniel McMillan is looking really fast right now. One of my guys to watch out for in this race, and to the inside for the race lead. He wants to get the best of Noah Carr. This is for the 4th starting position. Of course, McMillan's currently in the 4th starting position, whether he finishes behind Noah Carr or not, but he's going to take it away right there. Here comes Ashlyn Boyd in the 74, I should say. You gotta watch out for him.
Whoa! Watch out, Madison Tull.
Man, that was a close by Madison Tull in their second career Napa fan start coming up Saturday night. That is going to definitely be a highlight reel for her. Hopefully she can finish in the top 18 and be in the race Saturday night, but not the way you want to go here in the dual race. But she's still 5th. She's hanging on to it there in the number 54.
Yeah, she's doing a great job. Meanwhile, up front, leader at the moment, as we're actually going to instead look at the final transfer spot, and as you said before, the number 19, that being Juan Garcia.
So Landon Lyons in the final transfer spot right now. Matthew Brown looking to close in on him and get it. Brown did not get a qualifying time in, so he definitely wants to race his way in right here, and he's to the inside of Landon Lyons for the 18th position, but a little bit calmer back here than it was in the first duel. Back to the race lead. Daniel McMillan continuing to lead. Noah Carr is falling back. We got a car up here in the number 57 of Gatlin Downey up to 3rd.
Yeah, Gatlin Downey doing a really good job right now, holding on to that 3rd spot and moving his way up slowly but surely, and that's unbelievable. Madison Tull, she's even doing a good job. Just passing Noah Carr's in the follow suit.
Oh, in the wall, Max Neuer, another wreck behind them, and this is going to end it.
And it's the big one.
It's going to end duel number 2. 26, Keyshawn Richardson, the 1 machine of Adam Garcia. Who else with damage? Is that Matt Tuck? No, that's Seth Cole with heavy damage in the 52. He might have to go to the LCQ. Seth Cole just came off his first ever Napa fan win last weekend at the Michigan International Speedway in the NOLA 500. He might not even advance on. It looks like Daniel McMillan, and I looked at that guy. You know, both of my picks to win both of these races have won so far. So watch out for whoever I pick on Saturday night. But McMillan's going to win this race only unless he blows an engine or something like that. We'll have to check and see who gets knocked out here as they roll around. Max Neuer got shot into the inside wall.
Yeah, and that's very unfortunate for Max Neuwirth and a lot of those guys, especially for Max Neuwirth's team that he's running at the moment. That is LFR. That is the LFR house team taking their run this weekend. They have a few cars in the field, as I said earlier in the qualifying efforts. And those cars being Neuwirth in the 17, the 19, the 40, and the 15. And so, one car is probably going to the LCQ among the others that were probably in the last dual race.
William Brock is out. He's going to have to go to the LCQ. The 47 is going to have to go to the LCQ. Thomas Troxel, Matthew Brown was caught up in that one as well. The 14 machine of Marty Johnson. The 07 of
Derek Hamill
is currently in the transfer position because Noah Carr's is still in the top 17. They just took the white flag under caution for Daniel McMillan. McMillan, a good job getting around Noah Cars there, and McMillan's going to be a strong driver. He's going to be starting alongside his Chick-fil-A Cup Series teammate Jesse Turner in the second row.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good job for Daniel McMillan. He'll be starting right next to his teammate and, well, his Chick-fil-A Cup Series teammate, but it was a good performance for him today. He knows how to get around this track, even though, there's limited experience here. I know he ran here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series recently, but I think this was probably the first time the Chick-fil-A Cup Series came to North Wilkesboro.
It was, and Trey Bartow won the race. McMillan wins duel number 2 in the super late model class. He'll be starting 4th on Saturday night. Good thing for Noah Cars, he didn't trash his race car here tonight. He's going to have a clean one starting on the outside pole Saturday night. But it's going to be the last time the super late models race until Saturday morning when we get the LCQ. And the guys who are going to be joining the other guys who were part of the first duel who failed to advance going to be Matt Tuck in the 58, the 4 machine of Edwin Mendez, Seth Cole in the 52, the 50 machine of William Brock, the 47 of Thomas Troxel, the 6 of Matthew Brown, the 14 of Marty Johnson, and the 7 of Brad Stover. They all have to go to the LCQ on Saturday morning. But let's go ahead and see what happened here. Bring out the second and final caution of the day in duel number 2 of the James and Dean Wickard Concord Shootout here from North Wilkesboro.
So they tried to go 3 wide. Dale Lightning and Max Newworth get together, and the big one ensues and takes a substantial amount of people out of this. And Derek Hamill, who did get a chunk of it, he's still going to move on to the main event. That's unbelievable.
He will. Good job by Derek Hamill, kind of avoiding that for the most part. Tough break for Matthew Brown. Max Newworth is actually going to stay in, even though he is the first guy to go around there. 47 had a lot of damage. He's not able to advance on. 14 of Marty Johnson as well, failing to advance. Seth Cole as well. Matt Tuck, the 4, Edwin Mendez. Tough break for a lot of those guys, and those are the official standings right there. So everyone from Matt Tuck on down, they will have to go to the LCQ on Saturday afternoon. Matt Tuck, Edwin Mendez, Seth Cole, William Brock, Thomas Troxel, Matthew Brown, Marty Johnson, Brad Stover. Daniel McMillan will start in the 4th position behind Noah Cars there in row number 2. And Ashlyn Boyd, Gatlin Downey, Madison Toll, Nathan Faden, Dale Lightning, Isaac Nichols, Gwen Garcia, Joe Rakowski, Christopher Alhaby, Justin Zayadell, Cole Sampson, Adam Garcia, Keyshawn Richardson, Max Newworth, Landon Lyons, and Derek Hamill, all in the show, along with Noah Cars here from duel number 2. So final thoughts on this one, Alex? Going to be an interesting show Saturday night, don't you think?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a very interesting show. Just seeing in these first 2 duel races was already impressive. What's even going to be more impressive is Saturday morning. I can't wait to see what that LCQ is going to look like, especially with these drivers who want to try and make it in. They're going to be doing probably twice as much of the aggression just to try and make it into the feature.
And we'll have the modified dual qualifying races Saturday morning, and then right after that, the LCQ for the super late models. It's going to be a fun Saturday here in Epiphan. We're not even done yet with Thursday night. Our first feature event is coming right up. It's the Street Stocks. We got 21 guys in that one, and this one is for an official Napa fan win. These dual races don't count as official Napa fan wins. Just keep that in mind. This next race does. So, who's your pick to win the Street Stock event, man?
Honestly, I don't know. We have a ton of great people running in that race, and there are a lot of great people that came from everywhere to sign up, and a ton of talent in that class. It's a lot. I honestly couldn't tell you. There's so many.
To find out right now. It's going to be a 40-lap event for the main feature of the Street Stock class here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, and then after that, the Hearst Elimination Series feature here from North Wilkesboro. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more racing action from one of the historic racetracks here in NR 2003.
And here we are, folks. This is going to be the last event on my end of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. After this, we have Napa Fans' end, which is going to be the Hearst Elimination Series. But I'm going to be honest, I think the Street Stocks are kind of making more of an appearance in the Hearst Elimination Series, and I'm not saying that to throw stones, but considering what we've seen so far, it seems pretty interesting. Now, The starting lineup was based on a random draw, so Connor Hurley is going to be your pole sitter for this event. I must ask you, Napa fan, what is going through the minds of these drivers in the street stock feature, considering that this is based on a random draw and they've had barely to no practice on this track yet?
So if we've seen the other events we've had so far tonight with the dual races and the late model stocks, it's kind of obvious that starting in the back's not a good thing. So let us guess, we got a poor draw. It might not be too happy about it, but this is the longest race we've had yet this weekend. It's 40 laps, twice as long as each of the dual races that we had earlier tonight. So we'll have to see how it all goes down for these guys, but either way, the mentality is to get on the inside lane and pass cars and get to the front before the race is over. There will not be any pit stops throughout any event this whole weekend, so you gotta make your passes on the racetrack. And these guys, they have been shooting up the racetrack quite a bit this week, so if you can hold that inside lane, you got a good shot at winning the race.
Yeah, it definitely is true, and we are just anxious to get the street stocks underway. This is going to be the first of 4 total feature events spanned across the 3 days. Of course, tonight being the street stock feature, tomorrow night being the super trucks, and then, of course, Saturday being the modified and the super late model 100 lap feature. I'm excited.
How can you forget the stock late models that we're going to have tomorrow night as well after what we solved those duels earlier tonight. So, we actually got 5. Alex is wrong. I really wanted to tell you that. Okay, well, either way, here we go for the starting lineup. It's the number 57 of Connor Hurley alongside Cody Sill and the number 35. We have the number 12 machine of Keyshawn Richardson and the 60 of Matt Tuck. Row number 3, it's the number 89 of Daniel McMillan, fresh off of his victory in his dual race for the super late models earlier tonight. He's alongside the number 112 of Alexander Rowe. And we have the 77 machine of Ryan Kendall starting alongside the 22 of Nicholas Samadillo. And then you get the 00 of Brad Stover alongside the 34 of Andrew Miller. That's the top 10. It's the street stock feature. Take it away, Alex, with the first feature of the night.
Green flag is out. We are racing here, and Connor Hurley, not really off to a normal start as you would have seen in the late model stocks or the super late model feature. These street stocks, they're a little more even out, if I could say, among the rest of the groups, but already just coming to the end of the first lap, looks like he's going to make about a car 2-lane lead over the rest of the pack as we have a battle going on for second behind us. The number 12 of Keyshawn Richardson going to the inside of Cody Sill. And I mean, just look at this racing right here. I mean, there's nothing for the lead at the moment, but if you look from second on back, double file, almost going 3 wide even, if you could say, if some drivers are daring, and they are really deep in the field, daring to go 3 wide.
Yeah, we got some 3 wide action back in here, and in the wall, that's somebody. That's a 33 machine. And I don't think the caution's going to come out. He was not sideways on the racetrack long enough for it to trigger. That is Mitchell Collins, who got sent to the outside wall, and that's a tough break for him, because I don't think he's going to catch up without another yellow here at North Wilkesboro. But notice these guys are going a little bit slower than the late models were going, so that might be making it a little bit more difficult to get a run on somebody. It is Keyshawn Richardson in the second position, Cody Sill in third to the inside, Ryan Kendall on the 89 of Daniel McMillan. Let's get Alexander Rowe making a move as well, along with Brad Stover there on the inside lane. But as you can tell, the inside lane is where you want to be, and as you can also tell, the field is spread out quite a bit. First-time driver Connor Hurley in his first ever Napa fan start has led every lap so far here in the street stock division of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Yeah, the way the track is running at the moment, the way these drivers are running, it's kind of a little more spread out, almost you would say single file when really it isn't single file, but you know, you're not really seeing a lot of people get runs or anything of that nature. It seems like now everyone's kind of cooling off with their position, and they want to win, don't get me wrong. A lot of these drivers, they want to win this event. It's a big event, but in some cases, you know, they're just kind of keeping their head.
Oh, in the wall, back in there.
Oh!
Samadillo around, and the 4 of Edwin Mendez got spun off as well, and the 69 of Alfonso Risky had a great run in his dual race, and we'll be starting on the outside pole for tomorrow's stock late model event. Also got spun around, and the caution is out here for the first time in the street stock feature of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate turn of events for our leader, Connor Hurley, but I mean, for a lot of the drivers from second on back, I'm pretty sure they were a little bit happy for this. to happen so that way they can bunch up and hopefully such drivers in second like Keyshawn Richardson or even Cody Sill for that matter trying to get runs as we have one guy on the pit lane at the moment. That's the number 21.
Igor Barreto, I'm not sure if he was caught up in that one or not. It seems like everybody else was able to bunch back in there. Mitchell Collins able to rejoin the pack there after he got spun off earlier on. But we'll have to see what happened there. Nicholas Samadio in the number 22 got spun off there into the inside wall, and Edwin Mendez also got spun around here for our first caution of the night in the StreetStock feature of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
So it looks like they were trying to go 3 wide. Contact was made, and the rest ensued, and now I can see why Igor Barreto went down the pit lane. I'm pretty sure he had some damage to be done because he took a little bit of a smack to Nicholas Samadio's number 22, and that might have been why he came down the pit lane, mostly because to try and get any damage that he had, engine-wise or not, to get fixed. And so I think Igor Barreto might be a little slow here come green flag.
Yeah, he might be. He might end up a lap down as well. It's a tough break for Igor Barreto, and a lot of those guys who started in the back of the field, that's where it happened. But like you said, Alex, it's kind of a tough break for Connor Hurley as well, because he's now got to fend off Keyshawn Richardson, Cody Sill, Ryan Kendall behind him. You also got Brad Stover running in the 5th position. A lot of guys who have a lot of experience on this rookie driver who might have a shot at getting around him on this restart. We're going to be restarting with 30 laps to go here in the StreetStock feature. Let's see who gets it done here tonight in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
We're back here getting ready to go for the restart here on lap 13. And Connor Hurley leads the field over Keyshawn Richardson in second, and the top 3, Cody Sill. 2 veterans, 1 rookie. I mean, I don't know who's going to beat what, because Hurley's been on a roll. Green flag is back out. We're racing once again. And heading into turn 1, looks like Connor Hurley may keep him at bay. Not for much longer, though. Here comes Keyshawn Richardson.
He got the run on the outside lane right there and was able to clear Keyshawn Richardson. Only guy out from that accident, Igor Barreto in the 21. Too much front-end damage to his race car to continue. But you know what? Richardson's got a run here. And here comes Keyshawn Richardson to the inside for the race lead on lap 14.
Yeah, Keyshawn Richardson, he's down the inside. He's going to try and see if he can get the run out of the turn, but it seems like at the moment Connor Hurley is really making that outside line work here in this race so far, and he's going to hold on to the lead here coming off the 4th turn. We have a battle for second moving forward, and Connor Hurley is like, you know what, keep battling. I'm just going to start checking out here.
We'll have to see if he can lead every lap in this event here tonight. It'll be a tough one for Connor Hurley to do. Keyshawn Richardson, Ryan Kendall, a lot of experience out of those 2 guys, at least compared to Connor Hurley, who was making his first ever start. And we saw Richardson get the run at the inside there, but it seems like the outside lane works pretty well in these StreetStock machines. And obviously, like I said, they're going a little bit slower than the late models were, so that might have a bit to do with how these guys are able to work that outside lane.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility. They run about the same cubic block, if I remember correctly, as the late model stocks. Maybe a little less horsepower, but same motor in a lot of these cars that are here tonight. It's just how much horsepower is being input. And as I said, if I remember correctly, that is the case. The street stocks are going to be slower than the supers, and of course the late model stocks.
And Cody Sill, he restarted in the 3rd position. He got stuck in the outside lane, and he has now fallen all the way back to 8th. Not a good run at all for driver number 35 after he started up front on the outside pole for this race. But it's just what the outside lane can do here. And we did see Connor Hurley get it to work earlier on, and we got a battle right here. Ryan Kendall getting him to Keyshawn Richardson in the 2nd position. And now Kendall's going to try to make the pass on the outside lane, but he's going to fall behind. Here comes Alexander Rowe and Daniel McMillan looking to close in. Brad Stover's falling back just a little bit in the 00. But now Alexander Rowe looking to make a pass here on Ryan Kendall for the 3rd position as Connor Hurley continues to pull away. That little bit of a scuffle there between Richardson and Kendall worked out pretty well for driver number 57.
Yeah, and I can definitely tell you for a fact that in the past, the James and Dean Wickard Shootout has always been kind of a hot seed for a lot of first-time winners. It happened 2 seasons ago, and I believe a few times in previous years. that the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, it became a basically a first-time winner's hotspot to come to, and they've always came out a first-time winner. I cannot remember.
Yeah, well, I actually have all the winners right here, man. I was prepared, and we got a caution on the racetrack again. Back in there, Ryan Kendall got caught up. He was running third at the time, and Noah Carr's in the 44 with damage. He's going to be starting on the pole position for Saturday night's feature. Definitely not the way he wanted to continue his night here at North Wilkesboro on that number 44 machine. But our second caution here in the StreetStock feature. But alluding to what you were saying there about past winners, you're right about first-timers in this thing. Max James won the Hornets class in 2017, Hans Device in Vintage Mods in 2017, Bailey Kenyon in the Modified Tour that year. That was 2 years ago, and last year, Adam McDowell winning the Super Trucks class, all winning their first ever races. So you're right, this event does favor those first-timers. Connor Hurley's one of them. He's led every lap so far in the StreetStock event. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the second caution here in the StreetStock event of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
Well, that's the most unfortunate thing any driver in this series wants to see during a race, especially when you're running so good, and Ryan Kendall got it, and that is a blown motor. And Noah Carr's, he just picked up the bits of that incident, as he was running 5th at the time and nowhere to go basically, and get caught up in a wreck like that, and that is unfortunate for Noah Carr's as well.
The race leader's going to be Connor Hurley in the number 57. He's led every lap so far, and he's going to have to fend off Keyshawn Richardson again. We saw what Richardson did on that last restart, and this time Richardson might be able to find a way around him. Third place is now Daniel McMillan in the number 89, and Alex in a row in 4th. And Brad Stover rounding out the top 5. Let's go ahead and get to the second restart of the night in the StreetStock event of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout at North Wilkesboro.
Alright, here we go for the restart here. Lap 27 is when they will restart, and they will have 14 laps to the end of the race. Connor Hurley, your leader at the moment, and he's looking to add his name to a bunch of the first-time winners in their first attempt at this race. Green flag is back out. We race once again. And heading into turn 1, looks like no one's going to try any risky moves.
There goes like Richardson, though, but Hurley gets the jump on the outside. He is really powering it through the outside lane each and every time, and Richardson really had to drop back there in the number 12. Gotta watch out for McMillan here. He won that dual race earlier on. He is going to be really strong here. Hurley a little wide off the corner. That might bring Richardson back into the race lead.
But it looks like Connor Hurley's really holding on to his position, keeping about a 1 car length lead so far over Keyshawn Richardson. And Richardson's really trying to close it back in, just reel it in a little. It looks like they're starting to really kind of fan out here within the top 6. Meanwhile, in the back of the field, a lot of passing opportunities going on back there.
59 machine of Jordan Lopez, who had a very interesting run in his dual race of the late model stock event. He actually won it. He's been in the outside wall a little bit there, and his so-called teammate in number 57, obviously, because they run identical looking race cars, has led every lap so far. So Lopez not finding the success he found earlier tonight. Got the number 7 here. That car driven by Justin Lightning. Had a great outing in the Freedom 50 earlier this year, back in May. And he's looking to back that up here. He's inside the top 10 right now in the StreetStock feature. Something completely different from the Freedom 50, but he's still doing a pretty decent job there in the number 7 machine. They're trying to close in on Connor Hurley. Unable to do so right now. They still remain in the same positions as they were when they restarted, but they might be closing in here on the 57 as Richardson is starting to pull that gap a little bit closer to Connor Hurley.
Now the question really is, if Keyshawn Richardson is really closing in that gap as much as he is, how much time does he have before the end of the race? Because as we're coming up now to about 9 laps left in the race now, if you're going to make your move, it's going to have to be soon. And Keyshawn Richardson definitely got a better run through there. I just don't know what he's going to be thinking when he's going to make his pass. Is it going to be now or never?
We'll have to see. It's only 8 laps to go here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout for the StreetStock class, the first feature of the weekend. And this is for an official Napa fan win. Keep that in mind. This is to win a feature event. And Connor Hurley, this is the only event he is in. And so far, he has put on a dominating performance. Brad Stover on Alexander Rowe. That is for the 4th position. McMillan's still here. Richardson almost had it on Connor Hurley a little bit earlier on, was unable to get to him. Hurley is running that outside lane, and it seems to be working pretty well for him right now.
Oh yeah, Connor Hurley really doing a dominant performance right now. Coming in, he's now knowing throughout the race, he knows what lines to run at this point. He knows which line best suits him, what gives him the run off the turn, and it looks like he might do it. So we have a shot here of Brad Stover in 4th. Looks like he was able to get around Alexander Rowe right there and move up a position, so that's always good. Daniel McMillan still holding on the 3rd at the moment, and of course Keyshawn Richardson still holding on to that 2nd spot. But it looks like the gap between him and Connor Hurley has really extended now in these final 5 laps.
The thing about Keyshawn Richardson is I don't think he's ever won a race on NAPAFan before, so the opportunity for him is right there as well, and he's been trying a lot longer than Connor Hurley has. But it looks like Connor Hurley's just got too strong of a car. Richardson was able to get to him earlier on. He could not make the pass, and now with only 4 laps to go, now 5 I should say, here at, 5 I should say, 5 laps here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. It is looking like Connor Hurley is going to pull away with this victory here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Actually, it is 4 laps to go, coming to 3 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. Alexander Rowe back on Brad Stover. That is for the 4th position, but it's not really going to mean much if they can't catch up to Connor Hurley, and if we get a caution, the race will end, so it's looking pretty good for driver number 57.
Yeah, and as I had said before, this event has always been a hot spot for first-time winners who start off in their first ever race. So it looks like Connor Hurley's going to add his name to that driver's trophy at the end of the night for the street stock class. And I can tell you, I'm pretty sure that every single street stock event that was held in the shootout, a first-time winner has always won in the street stock event, if I do remember correctly.
Well, Eli Bright won the last time we had the street stocks, and I don't think that was his first ever win, but either way, Connor Hurley takes the white flag, and this is something we have not seen all night long. Of course, these guys going a lot slower, a little bit difficult to pass in these cars, and with that, Connor Hurley's going to go flag to flag and win the James and Dean Wickard Shootout in the street stock class. Connor Hurley does it in North Wilkesboro.
A first win and a first start, and that's a dominant performance he has pulled out here tonight. Congratulations to you, Connor Hurley, picking up the win on your first try here on NAPAFan, and that's the first win considering the fact that it's counting as a NAPAFan win. So that makes it even better.
His first career NAPAFan start is a victory in one of the biggest events of the summer. Congratulations to Connor Hurley on his race victory, and gotta be honest with you, Alex, that kind of disappointed us there. We were seeing some awesome racing in the late model class, and not to say we didn't see awesome racing in the back here for this one, but nobody was able to get around Connor Hurley here in the street stock class.
No, not necessarily. I mean, there was some good action, don't get me wrong, but as we've seen in like super late model and late model stock, as you said, yes, we don't really have as much passing for the lead. We still had some passing here, don't get me wrong. We still had some little technicalities of wrecks, as we've already seen, 2 cautions in total. Still, all in all, yes, it may not have been like what we would expect in the late model stock or the super late models, but all in all, I thought it was still a pretty good show that has went on here in this race tonight.
We'll have to see what happens in the final show of the night. Hers Elimination Series isn't canceled, guys. We're going to go ahead and have a special event with everyone who signed up there. And those guys will be going a little bit faster, so stay tuned for that one. It's going to be an interesting one. And it also counts for an official NAPAFan win as well. Another 40-lap event. It's going to end the night. Somebody else is going to join me for that event because me and Alex have to go ahead and record the other main events here for the James Dean Wickard Shootout, and he's going on vacation next week, so we're going to have a couple days to get this done. So we're going to go ahead and get into that, but somebody else will join me right now for the Hers Elimination Series event. So final thoughts on the night, Alex, before you head off on your little vacation. Well, you're already on your vacation by the time everyone's seeing this, but final thoughts on this night. This is going to be your last event here tonight. Are you looking forward to tomorrow with the stock class? I'm really looking forward to the stock class with what we saw in the dual races. Do you think that race is going to be the highlight of tomorrow night?
Oh, yeah. I think the late model stock race is going to be the biggest highlight of tomorrow night's event. I mean, just seeing what we've seen in the dual races so far, kind of just gives it like a preview of what you're going to see in the main event, only maybe 100 times better, because it's a big race on the line and everyone wants to etch their name into this racing event history, and anything's possible and anyone can win it. It's basically up for free grabs. You just got to be fast, quick, and efficient. And as we've seen tonight, if you are consistent like Connor Hurley has been from flag to flag, you'll edge your name in the book. It's guaranteed.
RJ Bishop's going to lead the field of the green flag tomorrow night for the stock late model feature. 50 laps of action. That's going to be the final race tomorrow night. And we begin tomorrow night with modified qualifying. Head on to the Craftsman Throwback Series special event. And then we are going to have ourselves the Super Trucks event as well, followed by the stock late model event, which will end the night. All 50 lap events tomorrow, with the exception of qualifying, of course, since it's a 5-minute session for modifieds. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining me here tonight. And we're looking forward to tomorrow here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. So don't go away. Still got one more race here tonight. It's the HERS Elimination Series special event, 40 laps here from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. And we are back, and this is the final event of the night for Thursday night of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout from North Wilkesboro. This is the HERS Elimination Series feature, and this series is kind of on the ropes right now. It may return later on in the summer, but for now, this is just a special event race, so this does not take place in the actual series. It doesn't take place in the championship. It is just a special event for these guys. But regardless, we're going to have a fun one with all the racing we've seen so far tonight, especially in the dual races that we had earlier on. I think we might see a lot of that in this final event for tonight. And instead of having Alex Bonsignore along with me for this one, since it is just my series and we were pressed on time earlier in the week, I got the NOFSRL president alongside me for this event. So, Marty, definitely a big event for these guys, the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. And some of these guys, a lot of these guys actually are going to be in events tomorrow and Saturday. So what are they going to be able to take away from this special event that they might translate into the late model or the modified event Saturday night?
Well, I think these drivers are really going to be focused on the apex because we're at a short track. There is only one lane in the turns that will work, and that is obviously the low line. So these drivers are going to have to practice not just making the apex perfectly, but they also have to practice their braking zones into the turns so that way they do not get tight in the entrance.
We'll have to see how it all goes down for these guys. This, I believe, is the first event of the night, and maybe the only event throughout the entire weekend that's going to be using the Cup physics, so a little bit different than what we're normally using. We're using the GNS physics for a lot of these events throughout the weekend, and with those guys, they have been overshooting the corner quite a bit, which has given us some excellent racing. I don't know what we're going to see in this one, but either way, it's going to be a fun one. They line up in the order which they finished at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which was the one race we have run so far in the HERS Elimination Series this season, and it's 40 laps here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway to cap off the night for the first night of racing action in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Ben Park won that Indianapolis race. He gets to start on the pole position alongside Justin Zeidel in the 41. We have Stephen Thompson in the number 24 alongside TJ Crampton. This is Crampton's only event of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, so he'd love to get the race victory here tonight. In row number 3, it's the number 97 of Adam Garcia alongside the 29 of Herjo Larvin Alonso. And then number 20 machine of William Brock to the inside of Joshua Rush in the 88. And Joshua Rush is the guy who is going to be in both of the events Saturday night. And a lot of these guys are going to be in a lot of the events throughout the rest of the weekend. But here we go, the final event of the night in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout for Thursday night. Ben Park with the jump. Here comes Stephen Thompson on the inside lane. And the number 24 might get the run of the inside of Ben Park.
Man, what a tough start there for that 41 machine of Zeidel. He got really tight. He's still getting tight in the turns. He's nearly 3 wide off the corner. Lap 1, though, led by Park in that 5. How about his teammate right now, Stephen Thompson, in second? So the Chevys right now off to a pretty good start here.
Stephen Thompson trying to close in here at Ben Park now in the StreetStock event. Connor Hurley led every single lap, but it was not without some challenges behind him. But it's looking like at the moment that Ben Park might have this thing in the bag the way they're racing. But he is running up high. He's not really hitting that apex too well. But that outside lane off of turn number 2 works pretty well for these guys. So you're going to see Stephen Thompson try to get the run on the number 5 to get around him for this race win. But as of right now, Ben Park looks pretty strong in the number 5 machine. This is Ben Park's only event during the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Of course, his younger brother Dan is going to be in a few events throughout the race weekend. He's going to shoot up quite a bit right there. And here comes Stephen Thompson for the race lead on lap 4.
Yeah, this is what I was looking at. Thompson was running a very lower line compared to Park, and it's going to give him the lead. But here comes that 97 car, Adam Garcia. Is a lot of these drivers, they're going to get really loose off of turn 4 coming to the line, being very aggressive. But there you see Garcia just got way tight, just lost all that momentum.
Yeah, we've seen that all throughout the night, and we're going to see it throughout the entire weekend. Those guys overshooting turn number 4. That's going to be the talk of the entire event here for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. But Stephen Thompson now leading the event. Now, we had a lot of great racing in the super late model and the late model stock heats earlier tonight. And I do know that it was in the second heat race for the stock late models that Jordan Lopez made a last lap pass. So you always got to watch after these guys making runs and for these guys overshooting the corner. And you're going to see Stephen Thompson way up the racetrack there. Ben Park might get back to the inside for the race lead here.
Yeah, Park has been luring Thompson's line here. He's trying to make that run to the inside. But,
and around! Number 17 and the 20 of William Brock took a hard hit to the inside wall, and the caution's going to come out on lap 8. William Brock with heavy damage in the number 20, and it was TJ Crampton in his only event of the race weekend getting spun around initially. The 16 with damage of Rob Evans. This is Rob Evans' only event of the weekend as well, and he's got a lot of damage in the number 16 machine. That's an unfortunate break for all those guys involved right there.
Who's the guy that is leaking fluid?
That's William Brock. Yeah, easily William Brock took a hard hit to the driver's door on the inside wall there.
Head on.
And that might be the hardest hit we've seen all night. We've seen a few spins and wrecks so far throughout this evening, but that might just be the hardest one we've seen. Number 1, Afrodamar Otts was also involved, thankfully for him. I think he actually was in the StreetStock event earlier on, so I don't know if he's going to be racing again, unfortunately. But either way, a few guys getting knocked out after this one. Stephen Thompson's going to be the race leader here in the Hers Elimination Series feature. The last event of Thursday night in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the first caution here in this final race on Thursday night. Well, turn 4 has been the trouble spot of the entire event up to this point, and you're going to see the 17 of TJ Crampton slide up into William Brock here. That's going to send the 17 around, and William Brock cannot save it as he's going to go head on to the inside wall driver's door first, and you see the damage to the left side of his race car there, and caution did not even come out until he hit the number 1 of Frodemar Otts, and Otts took a really hard hit as well. These are some of the hardest hits we've seen all night. Of course, we did see RJ Bishop take a hard hit to the inside wall in his heat race in the super late models earlier on, but this one might take the cake as the worst wreck of the night here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout for night number 1.
So Brock just gets tight in 3 and 4, and same with Crampton. He just gets up into Brock and just turns him. Crampton, though, makes a nice save. Unfortunately, the number 1 of Otts and the 48 of Kennedy each have nowhere to go. We know that the 20 of Brock is done for the day. Maybe the 1, maybe the 48, and also the 16, Rob Evans, who got caught up in that stack up as they raced to the line and had to check up from the 20.
So I do know that Frodemar Otts is out because he took a hard hit there to the front, and I believe Rob Evans is also going to be out in the number 16, which is a tough break because this is the only event he's running all weekend, and we'll have to see. I mean, I'm hoping that this series will be able to return sometime later on in the summer. It's kind of on the fence right now, but we're here for the special event regardless, and these guys are going for a race victory in the biggest event of the summer on Neptune. We're coming up on lap 17 as well, the silent lap, which commemorates James and Dean Wickard. Of course, that was the number that Dean Wickard drove in his final career Chick-fil-A Cup Series season. And he also got his final career Napa Fan win in that number as well. So when we get to lap 17, we will be silent, but we're not there quite yet. But we're going to get there soon. We're going to get to the restart here in the HERS Elimination Series feature in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. We are back here for the HERS Elimination Series feature of the 2019 NOFSRL James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Stephen Thompson is the race leader with Ben Park in second. Both of those guys have led laps so far in this event. Number 97 of Adam Garcia, the 15 machine. How about Ace Garcia there in fourth? And then Justin Seidel in fifth. Back to racing. Lap 14 of 40, and Stephen Thompson with a really good jump on the restart.
Look at the run that that's the 5 though. But look at the run that this 97 has. Tried to get a good draft off of the 5, but unable to do so. Here comes that 15 machine now.
They're staying single file up front right now. Stephen Thompson continuing to lead, but he's really hitting high on the racetrack there, and the leaders have done that quite a bit throughout this event here tonight. So we'll have to see how it all goes down for Stephen Thompson. Ben Park a little wide. Here comes Adam Garcia to the inside. And Garcia might have the run on Ben Park for second. Adam Garcia's in the super late model event, I do believe. So he's going to be trying that out. And I think he did qualify his way in, so he doesn't have to go to the LCQ. But how about Ben Park with a run to the inside? We're closing in on lap 17. We will remain silent in honor of James and Dean Wickard. Never be forgotten. Ben Park, the new race leader. Stephen Thompson really fell out of line right there. He is running now in the fourth position. You have Ace Garcia up to third. Adam Garcia looking to close in. But how about this racing, Marty? It's the best race we've had all night so far, I do believe. At least the best feature. This is definitely a lot better than the StreetStock feature we had just a moment ago.
I've been very impressed with the racing so far tonight. Just back and forth racing. A lot of these drivers have gotten really tight, but some of them have been able to get that low line perfect. Here comes that 97 of Adam Garcia looking to the inside.
He's got the run on number 5, but you got to watch out for Ace Garcia. He might go 3 wide for the lead if he gets the opportunity. And look at this, TJ Crampton is up to the 5th position after he spun to bring out the first caution earlier on.
Yeah, I know.
But Adam Garcia to the race lead halfway through the HERS Elimination Series feature in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Here comes Ace Garcia for second on Ben Park. He's got it on the inside of the number 5.
You were just mentioning that 17 of TJ Crampton, who never pitted one bit, who made that spectacular save in the first caution, bringing the pack up together as he gets way loose off of 4.
Again, he's right now in the 5th position, and if we get another caution especially, he might have a good chance of closing in over our race leader, Adam Garcia. But Ben Park back to the inside of Ace Garcia. That is for the 2nd position. And Ben Park does not want this one to drive away from him. He wants to be the only winner in the HERS Elimination Series this year, even though this is not an official race for these guys. It's still for a Napa fan win, but it's not an official HERS Elimination Series race. It's going to act as a special event, so keep that one in mind when it comes to the wins list. But how about Adam Garcia in the number 97, holding on right now, able to hit the apex pretty well there. But Ben Park and Stephen Thompson run his back bumper. TJ Crampton for the 4th position, and Ace Garcia falling back in the 15. Here comes the 8 machine of Dale Lightning, I believe. Can't remember if he's in the LCQ or not for the super late models. No, he isn't. I'm pretty sure he advanced his way in, but he's also going to be in the late models. And Ben Park in the inside wall. He tried to make a pass on Adam Garcia, and he got shuffled out of line, and this is not going to end well. 4 wide in North Wilkesboro.
Oh, boy.
How did they save that?
Oh, my goodness.
Victor Delgado and his only James and Dean Wickard Shootout event here tonight.
Whoa.
Man, he's really having to work that race car, but give a good hand to Victor Delgado, at least for now. Zeidel's going to back off, but this is absolutely unbelievable midway through the pack here in the HERS Elimination Series feature.
Have you ever?
I have. We've already recorded the rest of this event, so I know what's happening on Saturday night at the time me and Marty are doing this race, and let me tell you, there's a lot of crazy things that are going to happen throughout the rest of the weekend. That's as much as I can go into it, but that was pretty intense right there. First time we've seen 4 wide all night long. Out in the wall! Stephen Thompson and Ace Garcia got into it. While all this is going on, Adam Garcia is just pulling away from the rest of the field. He's now got a 2-second lead, but everyone keeps on battling for second. It's now Stephen Thompson in the second position with Dale Lightning, Ben Park, and now Victor Delgado in the number 6 up to the 5th position.
Garcia just said see you later to second place. He does not want that caution flag one bit.
But
unless it's 5 to go.
These guys are racing, we could easily get another one.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, Dale Lightning almost spun Stephen Thompson into the inside wall. This is unbelievable. This is great stuff here out of the Hers Elimination Series guys. They're upset that the series got quote-unquote canceled, and they want to win what could possibly be the last race and the only race for some of these guys this season, so they're battling hard for it. But Adam Garcia is the guy to beat now, almost 2.5 seconds ahead of everybody else. And it's going to take a major mistake out of Adam Garcia for any of these guys to close in before the end of this race, because we only have ourselves 10 laps to go here in the Hers Elimination Series feature. So the race is on for second, and I'm telling you, it is on for second.
Oh my goodness, that A car.
Dale Lightning again. He's got a lot of damage to his race car. Delgado got to the inside of him. Crampton as well getting to the inside of Dale Lightning. Stephen Thompson able to get back to second on his teammate Ben Park.
Oh my goodness, these guys have raced harder than they have so far today. I think it's because it's coming down to the final laps of the race. Everyone wants to be up front by the time this race ends.
Well, the only person who is up front right now is Adam Garcia, because he's got 2.5 seconds on second place Stephen Thompson. And the only thing that's going to keep Adam Garcia from winning this race here tonight is a caution. And with the way these guys are racing, we could easily get one, but they've been keeping it together very well so far in this race. Now, if this were, and originally this was intended to be an elimination race before the series was canceled, just for kicks here, the 2 drivers who would have been eliminated would have been William Brock and the one of Frodemar Otts. But we have a caution. And Adam Garcia is not happy about that one, and around going the 9 of Dale Salzman and the 48 of Nick Kennedy, and oh my.
Ooh,
they're getting edgy back in there. Luke Rainey is up here now. He's in the 6th position. I'm pretty sure he was mad about getting eliminated from the championship contention when we still had the series going on. Of course, like I said, nobody going to be getting eliminated from championship contention in this race if the series does return. It's acting as a special event, so keep that in mind. But so much is going on. I haven't let you talk enough, Marty, so what's going on out here if these guys were second place?
It's making, well, that yellow, first off, gives us a breather right now, because we were about to have a heart attack in the booth. But, second of all, as we just said, not what Adam Garcia wants, but definitely want what Stephen Thompson, Ben Park, and the rest of this company back here wanted to see, because they did not have a chance at going for that win.
They didn't, but now they do, with these guys going to bunch up here. I guess we'd have a green-white checker, 2 laps to go in the restart. That could get very interesting. But first,
yeah, they do 5 caution laps at this track, not 4.
Yes, so yeah, I believe I might be right about that. We'll have to check in and see about that later on. But first of all, let's go ahead and see what happened to bring up the second and what will probably be the final caution of the night here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout Hers Elimination Series feature. Well, you see right here, Nick Kennedy. Just losing a little bit of grip there, sliding up the racetrack. Surprisingly, we had 4 wide, 3 wide. These guys moving all over the place, and this is actually what brings out the caution. Just a simple slide into another guy. And Kennedy went around right there, and Dale Salzman hard into the inside wall. I think Salzman's going to be able to continue, though. I don't think it was that hard of a hit for the number 9, but not exactly the way you wanted to end your night here in the Hers Elimination Series feature. Of course, both of these guys, this is their only feature event in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, so this is going to be it for them. Their only spot in the spotlight here for the event this weekend. But tough break for those guys. We'll replay it in real time, then get to what will be an exciting restart here in the Hers Elimination Series feature.
So you can see Salzman just committed to the high side, minding his own business, and then you see Kennedy just gets tight into the 9, into the inside wall, and like in the episode, not a hard hit as what William Brock took, but it is head on. Will definitely affect his speed as we go underneath the second caution in this one.
So Adam Garcia's 2.5-second lead completely erased because of that caution, and now Stephen Thompson, who's obviously a very fast race car, and Ben Park, they're both really fast. They're both going to have a shot at this race victory, but watch out for guys like Victor Delgado and TJ Crampton. They could find a way around these guys in these final couple of laps. We're going to have to see. Let's get to the restart, the final restart of the night on Thursday night, night number 1. We still got 2 nights after this one, guys. It's the Hers Elimination Series feature, the cap off the night here in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout on Thursday. We're going to have 1 lap to go on the restart. This is going to be intense, so I really don't think Ben Park's going to have a shot. I think it's going to be between Adam Garcia and Stephen Thompson. It's Garcia, Thompson, Ben Park, Victor Delgado, TJ Crampton, the top 5. Guys out of the race include William Brock and Frodemar Otts. Everybody else still on the lead lap. Here we go. 1 lap to go to cap off Thursday night. It's been a great one. Let's see who gets the final feature of the night. Adam Garcia, he can't go wide. You can't go wide. Here comes Stephen Thompson to the inside. I knew this was going to happen. Side by side, coming to the checkered flag here in North Wilkesboro. And Stephen Thompson trying to get the run on the inside. Adam Garcia on the outside. It's going to be Thompson at the line.
Wow.
Winning the Hers Elimination Series feature in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout.
You just can't get tight. You cannot go wide. Adam Garcia had to be perfect, and that caution cost him.
That's gotta hurt for Adam Garcia. He had his first career Napa fan win right in front of him, taken away as Stephen Thompson gets it done in the Hers Elimination Series feature, the final feature of the night. And what a way to cap off the first night of racing here at North Wilkesboro for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. And that was an exciting race here for the Hers Elimination Series, and there's a good chance these guys will be coming back at some point throughout the summer. Just got to catch up, get everything in line, but there's a good chance these guys might be getting back on the racetrack again. I want to make sure that I can do that for you guys who signed up, and that's why we have this race here tonight, so you guys can have at least 1 more race before the series was closed up, but we'll have to see. We might bring it back later on in August, so either way, Stephen Thompson, the race winner, Adam Garcia, I mean, you got to feel for him there because he had a 2.5-second lead before the caution came out, and it all just went away as Stephen Thompson got to the inside of him.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Like I just said, can't go. Okay, I'm sorry. Cut that out. What were you just saying?
It's got to be tough for Adam Garcia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had that first win in the bag. 2.5-second lead with about 7 laps to go, I believe it was when the caution came out, and then he just went tight. I think what he was trying to do was trying to mirror drive and see where Thompson was going to go, but didn't work. Yeah, if it's a super speedway race, you got to mirror drive, but if it's a short track race, you just got to be focused on your apex and just hope you don't go wide.
And 1 mistake by Adam Garcia going to cost him the race victory. Stephen Thompson gets a feature win in the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. That's a pretty big deal, and I'm sure Alex is over there congratulating him right now. Of course, Alex Bonsignore, the I guess you could say president of this whole event. And we thank him once again for letting us do that. We thank you guys for joining us here for the first night of racing action. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, we had a lot of great stuff going on the racetrack here tonight, and we're going to have a lot of great stuff tomorrow night as well. We begin with modified qualifying, then the Craftsman Throwback Series comes back for a special race. Going to be a special event for those guys here at North Wilkesboro. The Super Trucks feature is going to be right after the Craftsman Throwback Series, and then we cap off the night with a late model stock feature. That's one of the big features here for the James and Dean Wickard Shootout, and it's going to be a blast tomorrow night, Friday night, with more racing action from North Wilkesboro. It's going to be a lot more of what you just saw here, and I hope you guys stick around and enjoy it for tomorrow night's feature events. But either way, thank you for joining me, Marty. You'll join me for the Craftsman Throwback Series race tomorrow as well, so I look forward to that one. And congratulations to Steven Thompson for winning here in the HERS Elimination Series feature of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout. Congratulations to Connor Hurley as well for winning the StreetStock feature just before this. We thank you guys once again for watching and supporting this event this year here on NAPA Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Steven Thompson once again. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for night number 2 of the James and Dean Wickard Shootout alongside Alex Bonsignore and Marty Johnson for the events tomorrow. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys later.